Good morning, Montana. I'm Jason Hurst. As you pour your coffee and make breakfast, let's get you caught up on what you missed while you were sleeping and get you prepared to take on your Wednesday. Coming up over the next half hour, new concerns as Montana joins other states in a lawsuit over a rule in federal disability law. NBC Montana is digging deeper and reaching out to Montana's Attorney General. Plus, lawmakers review a bill that could protect utility workers from assault while out in the field doing their job. How a crime could get you some serious time. And the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Montana announced a change for U.S. Attorney's details coming up in just a bit.
Well, the time is at 5:30 on a Wednesday morning, and we are starting out with some cold temperatures for everyone but Missoula. We're sitting at 23 now. When we do factor that wind out of the east at 13, it feels like it's 11. But look at Kalispell, waking up below 0, 1 below, 4 above in Bozeman, 8 right now in Butte. Dry skies to start your morning, but that evening drive is going to contain some snowfall. We've got a winter weather advisory. That's going to go in effect for us by the afternoon, and we're tracking accumulating snow. Day planner, Missoula, lunchtime 25. We'll make our way above the freezing mark between that 2 and 5 o'clock hour today. Snow showers moving in, though, for us in that 5 o'clock hour. We do anticipate some accumulating snow overnight. For Bozeman, keeping you a bit colder. You'll be at 13 at noon, 24, though, in that 5 o'clock hour. Also expecting some snow to move in overnight. But our big weather story heading into the weekend is a rapid melt of that snowpack. I'll have everything you need to know coming up in about 10 minutes.
New from Helena, legislators take up a bill creating a specific crime for assaulting public utility workers on the job. House Bill 452 had its first hearing Tuesday in House Judiciary. It creates a new state offense for the assault of a public utility employee. Most offenses would be charged as misdemeanors under existing assault statutes, but if the offender causes serious bodily injury, it would be a felony starting with penalties of up to 8 years in state prison and or a fine not to exceed $50,000. The hearing comes 7 months after the arrest of a man in Missoula after he allegedly shot at utility workers that were helping restore power. The many supporters say utility workers are becoming increasingly under threat, and this will make people think twice before harassing those simply doing their jobs and will prevent delays in restoring services.
The last thing you need is somebody running a crane or a dozer being distracted by somebody shooting at them, because when that happens, we're going to injure somebody else. It's not safe. There needs to be stronger penalties and enforcement.
The only opponents say their concerns are addressed by proposed amendment from the sponsor that would add employees of electric cooperatives to the bill. Additional amendments further strengthening penalties are also on the table. No action was taken on the bill, and it will now move to the House for if it clears committee. Now, also in Helena, a bill aimed at regulating the unlawful use of hunting equipment passed the Senate floor Tuesday. The bill, requested by Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, aims to restrict the use of electronic motion tracking devices and similar equipment while hunting. That includes seismic devices, thermal imaging satellite, and radio tracking systems. However, radio tracking collars used for dogs by hunters engaged in lawful activities are exempt. Proponents of the bill argue that it helps preserve skill-based hunting.
And it's a constant effort on their part to monitor that and adjust regulations to address that new technology, which, as you know, changes seemingly daily.
The proposal cleared the Senate floor Tuesday in a 34-16 vote. Now, none of the legislators who voted against the bill spoke during floor debate. Right now, 17 states are engaged in a lawsuit over a rule in a federal disability law. Montana is one of those states, and some are concerned it could have a negative impact on school accommodations. NBC Montana's Bowen West reached out to state officials for clarification.
Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 prohibits discrimination based on disability. Last year, the Biden administration added gender dysphoria to the list of disabilities. In September of 2024, 17 states filed a lawsuit challenging that addition, but some of the wording in here has some concern. At the end of the lawsuit, it's argued all of Section 504 is unconstitutional. I reached out to Montana's Attorney General for more information. In an email, the press secretary for the Attorney General's office said the lawsuit against the Biden administration seeks to protect Montana students served by Section 504, going on to say the federal government cannot use education funding to coerce states into accepting woke policies. He added the case is paused while the Trump administration repeals this and other Biden transgender policies. An official with the Montana Office of Public Instruction said Montana schools will continue providing Section 504 support to all eligible students and will monitor and communicate information to districts and families as it becomes available. Legal briefs are due on February 25th, and I'll continue following this story, so make sure to stick with NBC Montana on air and online for the latest. Reporting in Missoula, Bowen West, NBC Montana.
The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Montana announced the departure of U.S. Attorney Jesse Laslovich, and according to a release sent out, Laslovich's departure was effective Monday. And Laslovich oversaw all federal criminal prosecutions and civil litigation on behalf of the U.S. government. First Assistant Timothy J. Roscoe is now the acting U.S. Attorney. Roscoe is the chief federal law enforcement official in the state of Montana and is a career prosecutor who became an assistant U.S. attorney back in October of 2005. Now, he has served as first assistant U.S. attorney since August of 2022. Tuesday morning, there was a fatal collision on Interstate 90. NBC Montana's Kylie Gibson joins us with details and provides further information on two incidents in Polson, including the death of a woman that has authorities seeking answers.
3 people are dead after a tragic crash on Interstate 90 near mile marker 90 early this morning. I talked with Montana Highway Patrol this morning, who tell me that around 3 a.m. an SUV traveling eastbound lost control and crashed. In the aftermath, 2 vehicles stopped to assist the occupants of the SUV. That's when a passing semi-tractor trailer lost control and struck the vehicles. The collision claimed the life of a juvenile occupant and left another with severe injuries. Additionally, the 2 men who stopped to help were struck outside their vehicles and killed. The crash is still under investigation. Lake County Sheriff's Office and the Coroner's Office are investigating a suspicious death in Polson. 48-year-old Kimberly Goodson of Polson was found dead in her home under suspicious circumstances on Sunday afternoon. Lake County 911 received a call requesting a welfare check for Goodson, who hadn't been heard from by family for a few days. That's when her body was discovered inside the home. Goodson's body has been sent to the state medical examiner's office for autopsy. The case is still under investigation. We will continue to provide updates on air and online as we receive them. An update to a story we brought to you over the weekend. The suspect in an officer-involved shooting in Polson on Friday has been identified. 49-year-old Cameron E. Francis of Gridley, California is behind bars in Lake County after he was arrested on an attempted homicide charge. Police say he allegedly shot at an officer who tried to conduct a routine traffic stop just before midnight on February 14th in the area of Highway 93 and Regatta Road. Francis appeared in court Tuesday afternoon, where his bond was set at $2 million. The officer that was shot at was treated for minor injuries. We'll be following this case and provide updates on air and online as they unfold. We also posted an in-depth article about the incident to our homepage at NBCMontana.com. Reporting in studio, Kylie Gibson, NBC Montana.
In Butte, officials are reminding Montana motorists to move over. This after 2 emergency vehicles responding to a multi-vehicle crash were hit by passing motorists. Luckily, there were no injuries. In a Facebook post, A1 Ambulance reports it happened Monday when a passing motorist slammed into a Medic 1. The second crash involved a separate motorist hitting an unoccupied police cruiser at the scene. Now, several agencies responded to the scene, including multiple tow trucks. And we now visit with Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster, who is standing by. Brooke, we keep mentioning it. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It's coming, isn't it?
It is definitely coming. I think a lot of folks, though, are saying let it stop, let it stop, let it stop, because we've had a lot of snow across western Montana, measuring well over a foot in some areas just on the ground. A lot of that's going to melt off. Coming up in 10 minutes, we've got everything you need to know about that snow melt flooding issue that we could run into this weekend. 5:39, live look. Kalispell, you're starting out with some very cold temperatures, 1 below right now. You'll be at 5 above as we get into that 7 to 8 o'clock hour. Almost 20 by around noon today for Missoula. Clearwater Credit Union weather camera. Main roads, Brook Street, looking pretty good this morning. Side streets, not the case, so you're still going to need some extra travel time. Temperatures in the 20s. Feels like it's in the teens though for us this morning. As we move throughout the end of the week, we're tracking some warmer weather. A few spots getting close to 50. That's going to lead to a rapid melt of our snowpack. Everything you need to know is coming up in about 10 minutes.
Coming up, we get you ready for the rematch between Montana State and Montana women's basketball. It's happening this weekend. What you need to know, we go courtside with both teams. And be sure to stay with us at 6:30 this morning as Congressman Ryan Zinke will be joining us in studio. Forestry workers recently lost their jobs. We will ask him more if more jobs are to be lost and about Montana's state of economy. But first, here is a live look over Polson and Flathead away from our Quatucknuck Resort and Casino weather camera. And Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster has your 10-day forecast. That's all coming up in about 10 minutes.